Alright, while researching things related to the CISA, that cybersecurity analyst test exam by CompTIA, I stumbled upon this website, so thought I'd share it with you guys. It's Guardicore, Cyber Threat Intelligence, discover malicious IPs and domains with Guardicore Cyber Threat Feed. I think that's fascinating. They have a oops, do you see your IP here? Contact us at labs@guardicore.com to remove it from the threat intelligence data. This website offers unique information on malicious internet assets, IP addresses and domains detected by Guardicore. It's based on three main resources: the Guardicore Global Sensors Network, Guardicore Reputation Services, and the insights of the Guardicore Labs team. 10,000 sensors, 13 IOC types, 13,000 scanners, and 100,000 attackers. You can visit their research labs. Here's those resources they were just talking about with some cool little symbols for them. At the bottom of the page they say want more. If you have questions, you can email them directly. That's nice and friendly. I clicked the link to go to their blogs. So for the rest of this video, I'll just read through this Introducing Guardicore Cyber Threat Intelligence. They say security teams are always on the lookout for trusted information sources to help them make sense of the suspicious IP addresses or domains they see in their security tools log. Even if one of their tools has reported a malicious IP address, in many cases they are still missing the context in which the IP operated in. What type of malicious activity this IP was involved in, what other IOCs are associated with the attack coming from this IP, etc. This type of information could help them see the bigger threat picture and fine-tune their defense against the threat they face. So to piece together a question on this first paragraph, what information should we associate with malicious IPs? And what we need is the type of activity, associate the type of activity to that IP. And then there are a slew of other IOCs that you can connect to the IP. These indicators of compromise we can go over at a later time. Now, Guardicore Labs is announcing the release of Cyber Threat Intelligence, CTI. It's a freely available resource to assist security teams in identifying and investigating malicious IP addresses and domains. Our Cyber Threat Intelligence is designed to allow security teams to keep track of potential threats that are specific to data center and cloud infrastructure. Who are they imagining will benefit from this? Well, security analysts, threat hunters, incident response, and SOC teams. And what they're doing is verifying threats, understanding attack patterns, and collecting attack-related indicators of compromise. If this was Stack Overflow, I would suggest the edit of spelling out IOCs in the previous paragraph that we read. You're supposed to spell out your acronyms and then just use those acronyms for the rest of the page. So the question though is, what can Guardicore's CTI be used for? It can be used to verify a threat, understand an attack pattern, and collect attack-related IOCs. For advanced research, teams can gain more insights from the attack flow section that places the malicious IP or domain into full context and allows them to assess the full scope of the attack. So our next question is, what type of advanced research would cyber threat intelligence be useful for? Funny that I criticized them about their acronyms and then I just did the exact same thing. But I'm gonna leave it. Now, it doesn't take long for them to tell us more about attack flow. The attack flow walks you through all the major breach and post-breach operations in the same order they were executed by the attacker. This will include information on which services were targeted, files downloaded as part of the attack, and associated IPs and domains, and more. So I'm asking, what three pieces of information should we gather about attack flow? Number one is the services being targeted. The second thing we'd want to look at is the files downloaded. And then any associated IPs or domains that we can get. These are the pieces of information that is telling us about the attack flow. And they said in that paragraph, the order of execution matters. So here's some information about their dashboard. It provides a weekly summary of top attackers. I thought that was pretty cool. If we go to the top here, we can just click last week and see that, these two IP addresses were responsible for a lot more attacks than the other ones. So it's a weekly summary of top attackers, attacked services, and malicious domains. So what three types of threat intelligence is displayed in the Guardicore dashboard? I have it highlighted right here. Users can browse and download a file consisting of this data and explore their environments for potential threats. And how nice is this that it is completely open source? With Guardicore Threat Intelligence, you can search for suspicious IP addresses, search through your network logs for top attackers, and investigate a security incident with our attack flow to get all the IOCs associated with the suspicious IP or domain. Here they're going to show us how Guardicore Threat Intelligence helps investigate a suspicious domain. So here's the problem. You noticed outgoing traffic from one of the servers in your data center to the domain down 1226 by, okay, you can read the rest. So how can you tell whether this communication is legitimate or not? With Guardicore CTI analysis, a search for this domain name in the Guardicore Threat Intelligence dashboard will lead you to a dedicated domain page. You can see here after the domain name that it says this domain name was accessed from a victim machine during an attack. So there's threat information, basic information, and then there's a 2018 and 2019 date here. Okay, one's December and the other is February. This is when it's first seen in Guardicore Centra. Guardicore Centra is a data center and cloud security solution that provides the organization's core assets using flexible, quickly deployed, and easy to understand micro-segmentation controls. Centra generates in-context security incidents. Okay, so Guardicore Centra is just like the data center, the hub for all Guardicore's research, it sounds like. Now in the basic information pane, the right-hand pane provides the domain name, country of origin, name of internet service provider, and the whois information. The associated attack servers pane on the left displays a list of attackers this domain communicated with. Clicking a random IP address on the list, say the 117 one, opens a dedicated page to that features key information we gathered on this IP address. So you can go from domain to IP address. And like their website, I mean, they just have a nice color scheme going here. For this example, we did get a country this time, China, and look at all this attack flow information. In terms of the threat information pane, if we go back, there it is right here. Right, it says role, services targeted, tags, etc. They say that the first thing you can learn here is that this IP was playing the role of an attacker. Roles include attacker, scanner, and connect back. An IP address assigned with the attacker role uses penetration techniques such as brute force password guessing and exploits, known and unknown. Once the machine has been compromised, these attackers execute a wide range of attack tools to establish their control over the victim's machine and attempts to further propagate across the network. This is a rough question, but I need questions. What's the attacker role defined as? These attackers are using these tools to establish control over victim machines. So the machine that you see propagating across the network, that thing that's spreading, okay, this gets the label of attacker. Now the label of a scanner is a machine that accesses one or more services across one or more subnets monitored by Guardicore sensors without performing attacks. So what is a scanner role accessing? It's accessing services. Our last one doesn't get a purple highlight apparently, but the connect back role refers to a machine that attackers connect to after breaching a server. These machines usually serve as file servers to download post-breach tools such as remote administration tools, aka RATs, CNC servers, right, command and control servers, and logging servers to send data from the victim's machine. So a creative question here, what would a good synonym be, or synonym for the connect back role be? You can say whatever creative name you could come up with. Maybe I'm thinking like it could be a dumper role. This is the machine or IP that is receiving all the stolen files or something. The data is getting dumped over here. That way they don't need future access to their victim's computer in order to read all that data. Now service is targeted. This IP has targeted MS SQL servers. The tags section are the highlights of the attack, so we see that this attacker has been tagged with brute force password guessing, creating custom MS SQL procedures, and making outgoing connections and more. So there's a lot of types of tags apparently. For the attack flow pane, this part features the exact steps the attacker took to breach the MS SQL server along with post-breach actions. The attack flow section walks you through the story of the attack. The attacker brute forced his way into the database. Next, the attacker performed a sequence of malicious operations, such as changing passwords, executing shell commands using the XP command shell plugin, and changing the configuration of the database. So I ask, what are some examples of malicious operations? Definitely password changing is a malicious operation. Executing a command like this, and then changing the configuration of the database, these are all like good examples of maliciousness. For our attack flow here, the very last thing is the attacker executed external commands, which had communicated with external servers. So among them, the domain name that we started out with, right there, down1226 by, this domain name, which is a bad one, is just an example of one of the external servers that the bad guy's using. Now for future research on my part, I really want to look into this network of sensors that they use to analyze attack campaigns. And they have these 3 examples here. If I just rapid fire open them, we got Operation Prowl, monetizing 40,000 victim machines. So these look like each good blogs that I could probably make separate videos on, and we can all learn from this. Wow, Guardicore is a pretty cool site. Not just visually pleasing, but very informative. Here they'll just explain why they're sharing this information, make the world a better place, basically. And if you want to get updates on Guardicore Labs stuff, I might actually fill this out right now. So now I subscribe to their mailing list. They're also on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Here's an ad for something called Infection Monkey. You can test your network with our open source attack simulation tool. But yeah, this is a pretty cool website, so more to come from me in terms of reading this stuff.